everybody. Thank you so much for being here with us on our very first live ever Chaos Council podcast, video cast, whatever you want to call it nowadays. Everybody likes to tune in, but we figured this would be an opportunity for us to kind of introduce some of ourselves, talk about a little bit of the characters and kind of the campaign that we've been carrying on for the past 2 years, as well as just take an opportunity to kind of just teach you guys a little bit of what we're about, what this channel is going to be about, the content that we're going to try to create for you, the fun we're going to have and continue to have. So if you guys can just tune in for a little bit with us, enjoy this next hour or so of us just kind of doing what we normally do, man. Thank you all again for being with us. We'll go around the table and kind of introduce who we have with us. We got a couple of the guys here from the group. A couple of them couldn't make it tonight, but we'll gradually every week as we produce this podcast, as well as the live D&D campaign sessions, you guys will meet everybody and we'll go around the table and so that. But first off, Jake, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, man, and kind of talk about your character a little bit and everything.
What's up, everybody? My name's Jake. I play Dro in one of the campaigns that we're running right now. Alternatively, we're doing Straw at the moment, so in that campaign, I'm playing as Callan, a wood elf monk. I'm having a lot of fun with it right now. Monk was definitely not a choice of mine that I was going to go with at first, because, I figured Josh would get a little pissed off at me with, Stunning Strike. I still ain't got the chance to use it yet, but it's coming, baby.
It's alright, though. Yeah, it's going to come. We'll see how that turns out. We'll see how that turns out. Hell yeah.
All right, Jonah?
Oh, God. What's up? I'm Jonah. I play Groma, your local cleric. In one other campaign, I play Cade Mooncrest in Strahd.
So. Yeah, you
little... The name alone is intense, but yeah, a little werewolf.
He definitely put some thought into that.
I had that character built up for many months ready to pull out.
He was ready with that one.
Alright. Justin?
What's up? I'm Justin. I play Sako originally.
The local drunk.
The local
drunk.
Alternatively a ranger, only by, just on paper, I guess. But he's known to get a little wild.
He's got some hairy situations, though.
Speaking of wild and hairy situations, so fantastic segue in my current character, Wild Hair, who is a fighter herring god with a kind of special archetype.
That's one of the new races from
that
hasn't been released yet. Right?
It's out there. Yeah, it's one of the newer ones. Stuff like definitely influenced heavily by the Feywild and stuff like that. But again, of course, like I said, there's a couple that aren't here right now. We do have a rogue and a monk and a couple of different things. But you heard a couple of the guys talk about that we're doing 2 separate campaigns right now, which is kind of crazy, but, everybody's heard of the name Strahd. Everybody's, it's the top of the charts when it comes to the D&D campaign. And our group here, we're 6 strong. At one time, we even had 11 people total, within the past 2 years that we were able to kind of get together. I personally have been playing this game a long time. Just picked it back up, when COVID hit, just like everybody else started kind of finding some things to do. And, little by little, everybody joined in, and we gradually just started kind of working through a world that I had created based on a lot of the D&D, Dungeons & Dragons stuff you see now, as well as a mix of some Critical Role and other homebrew things that kind of just, my creative mind that's just always going 100 miles an hour with different fantasy stuff and nerd stuff and everything, just really kind of just put on paper for pretty much my buddies to enjoy and anybody else. And so we, in a campaign that we're currently running, the group is a group of all different types of classes and characters that have gradually met themselves along the way. It's initially led by a group of 3, Justin's character, as well as another individual, CJ, that you'll eventually meet down the road.
CJ.
They're siblings, and had another 3rd sibling member that we had that tragically wasn't able to make it to the through the campaign. It happens to everybody, but it was a pretty intense death. I give much respect, dying to a whole dungeon full of giant spiders and things like that. And for the record, They did try to save him, so that's there.
I forgot
And,
about
Well, we
yeah.
totally forgot about
Yeah.
it.
100%.
100%.
Had a big ceremony and everything like that.
Like, we got outside of Axel.
The word
Hall.
"forgot" makes it sound a lot worse than the real context of what happened to get out.
I mean,
Because that was the.
Look, at least we went back, right?
We did
I
go
mean,
back.
we did go back.
You did at least
To be
try.
fair,
That's right.
that player couldn't make that session, and we were getting out.
That's very true, and I mean, anybody that plays the game knows if you can't make it, D&D can only
Whatever
happen
happens,
as much
happens,
as
man.
possible, but the dice will always tell what they do, how they lie.
try to-
So, we figured that a cool way for everybody to play Strahd and enjoy it, which, I'm glad that we did it this way, was to kind of expand off our main campaign where the groups encountered, a lot of adventures to this point, but they've actually been able to get on one track now where they're kind of figuring out a way to get a hold of, whatever they can to defeat this group of dragons that have decided to kind of band together, which, if you know your D&D lore, your Critical Role stuff, that's a big, heavy kind of flow of storyline. And from that, we've expanded it to include a couple of different gods and ancient entities that are involved in this ancient comeback. And, we led the campaign into where Strahd has played a big part in orchestrating a lot of this. And, I thought it would be cool to be able to let these guys jump in. So as they had been playing these original characters for almost 2 years now, and they made their way to level 10 with those, I thought that let's take this chance to create some new characters, So I gave them the opportunity to start at level 5 to create a group of characters that were on one focus of a mission. I decided to take the Thieves Guild's roots that are heavy and water deep and allow the guys to meet up with them, involved in some kind of plot or ploy where the Thieves Guild was already planning on going to Barovia, already planning on seeking out Strahd. They had got a tip of some information through all their sources that Strahd was involved in all the other activities that were going on, and these dragons coming together and attacking everything and creating all the chaos that's kind of at hand. And so from that, these characters are this group of masters of Thieves Guilds. They're a group of, Navy SEALs, as you'd say, a special unit that was made specifically by the Thieves Guild masters and leaders to take this pretty much suicide mission, a mission of life and death, to go to Barovia and encounter that. And as they have made their way there, and they each are from these unique races, and each character is from a sub-guild of the Thieves Guild, whether it be the Xanthar, the Shadow Thieves, different ones. We really dove into the lore to set this up so that we could play Strahd and enjoy it as others have enjoyed it, but also enjoy it on our level, which is, you'll come to find out, creating chaos. It'll take a little while. We can sit here for hours and tell you, step by step, all the campaigns up to this point that we've enjoyed and all the sessions and everything like that. But, I figure we just take a few moments now when it's us here and it's our first one to kind of, just let you know that look out next week. Most likely Thursday or Friday, we'll be releasing our very first session. We actually play them every Monday night. We'll record them and put them on YouTube here where you guys can see them on our channel. You'll be able to interact with us here in these podcasts and stuff like that when we do these, so we can answer questions, talk about stuff that's happened. But tonight we're just going to take a little bit to talk about some of our favorite moments, some of the things that, were pretty much memories we're going to carry for the rest of, the campaign, our lives, however it may be, because you'll come to also find out that we're pretty serious about this and we love to do it. And so we really want to share this with you. So I'm going to just kind of open it up to you guys. I'm going to say, so up to this point, what is, let's say, what's the worst enemy or the most dangerous or the hardest enemy to this point that you guys have fought? And collectively, this group's come across, Rashakas, cave trolls, dragons, things like that. They're pretty advanced and also advanced in shortcomings as well. So I'll leave it up to you guys. So go ahead and take the floor, man.
I think, the Rashaka was definitely hard for you.
I hate it.
Because you and CJ.
I played it 3 times with one other person.
I hated it.
Isn't it always
It's
CJ?
always either, it was CJ or Andrew. They're always with me when it
always
happens.
you two. But I would say, like, as a group collectively, what was who was the guy? You remember the huge orc war outside of Falcons?
Yeah.
Who was the main guy there? I can't remember his name.
Oh yeah,
The one that made Justin
Necromancer.
Sacco stab
Oh,
himself.
He
yeah.
was like half orc, like type of warlock.
Yeah.
He
was
made me
doing
stab
something.
myself.
You
Yeah,
fell
he
like
was
3 floors.
I died.
You died.
I
I
died.
died.
You
Yeah,
died.
That's the same day.
That whole fight though was
You-
CJ just deciding at one point as a
Oh my
rogue
God.
would,
To open the door.
To open the
open
I
the
was-
main gate door and just
I was set up. I was ready
Like
at the
Bruno
door.
Mars.
I was
just straight up.
Dude, I was gonna take them one by one, and here comes CJ. I wanna, what do you do? I wanna disguise self and walk out the door.
Yeah,
And I'm sitting beside him. I'm
to be
like,
one
alright.
of these orcs that and he just opens the door, and sure enough, they start coming in, and then shortly after that, they
Jake's like, I thought you said disguise ourselves.
I
Ourselves.
remember you were just standing there left, like
I was ready, and then he
By
opens the door,
yourself.
walks out, and I'm thinking, okay, he's pretending to be an orc right now. He's gonna make his way out, close the door.
Yeah.
Fuck no, that is not what happened.
Left the door
He
open
left the
and
door
everything.
wide open and said, "You know what, Jake, you got this."
Yeah, I mean, but
Oh my
it is
god.
the bits. I mean, he did have a plan. I'm not gonna say, the plan worked out.
Hold
for
up.
the best,
Speaking
but-
of his plan, he walked out, did nothing, and walked back in. You remember that?
Again, that was his plan. So, I mean, I gotta say that it was a lot
In his
better than-
defense, he was coming to save me, who had died.
That's
Yeah.
also very true.
I want to say, being there, as soon as I got there, I knew I was going to die.
You just knew.
I knew several of us were going
he
to
was
die.
up on the ramparts.
floating that looks like he can read out of 300 soldiers. Yeah, I mean, sure.
Oh, us.
Sacco was up on the ramparts just looking at this wave of green, and he's like, yeah, that's me. That's it. This is all I wrote right here.
I did take out the brute, the big one.
And then everybody got knocked down except
That was a
for you.
proficiency
Yeah.
shot. I think.
And he got,
it was.
and Gromon got pushed through what, 3 levels of hell?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was it. Yeah.
I thought you pushed them through 3 levels of hell.
You attempted.
You initiated.
Yeah.
I think you attempted banish.
You did.
No.
You
I
know
went to
what
grab him.
banishment.
He was in the air. I
That's
grabbed his
right.
legs to inflict wounds.
Yep.
And he got pissed at me and just.
That's
then
what
he-
it was. And you guys went. I do remember that.
He
was a
dwarf.
I opened up those portals.
He was a dwarf at the time.
But which one
That
did you
is right. Yeah,
match?
yeah. Okay, so something you have to understand is at one point Jonah's character was actually this
He was
old
not.
ass dwarf.
Old ass door.
Axe home. He's technically like supposed to be the king of this place, but it's been deserted forever.
We love that bitch.
Yeah.
We
so
love that
that bitch.
We ain't been back.
at one point, at this point, I mean, he's still the old dwarf, but then he eventually gets, so I'll let you kind of go into it. Yeah, he gets reanimated, and
He
now
got
is
pushed through 3 levels of hell.
a half
Dropped
dwarf.
from the sky.
Young
And then
man.
it woke up as a half orc.
How many
Very
people
true.
have I been involved in reviving so far?
Definitely 3 for sure, because I
3
know you
minimum.
had previous
2 of them
members
were-
twice.
2 of them.
But I mean, if we're going to be talking about people being dead and resurrected, we got to talk about Halvard here. He's
Halvard.
died
That's
so
that's
many
3.
times.
That's 3. That's 3.
Halvard
So
people.
many
definitely-
times.
But you gotta give it to Halvard though, because
You're
out
4.
of everybody,
I'm 5.
Halvard carries an emotional
else has
journey.
died?
And it's
Yeah.
funny because you guys turned out to be brothers.
Did Rimuru die?
Ah,
Rimuru has not died, but has
definitely been knocked down.
definitely been unconscious for death
Right.
rolls. Definitely had to roll saving throws. When
Definitely
you guys
been
were
knocked down.
fighting when you were in the Feywild, and you were going
Oh,
to
the
meet,
Guardians.
the
the
mother,
nature.
you had to
Yeah.
finish the Guardians.
Yeah, he got knocked out, and I got made naked.
That usually happens.
It happens.
Like,
I just
yeah,
want to say that's
you
common
do,
for
like,
him.
For some reason, if the words "I want to eat you down," like,
No, it's not, "I wanna eat
This
I
character
cast the yeet.
continuously finds
For the
himself.
viewers, casting yeet is just me grabbing a javelin and yeeting said javelin. So it
Well,
never.
all the time I've said,
the
Yeah,
first one went.
I
so-
do want to
Yeah.
clarify. It never goes in my favor, except for when I hit
Momo.
Sako or Momo.
That's very true.
Oh yeah.
That's very
Sniped
true.
him.
It's
Nice.
like, so when you're playing for the other team, you're very effective.
I'm
so.
very effective with it. It
That's
never goes in
definitely
my
what I've written
favor
as a DM, 100%.
ever.
That's
I mean, I
very
remember I came into this session. Justin here, he's my brother in real life. He invited me to.
Associate me with him?
He
Don't
said,
do that. I don't know him.
At all. But we all definitely know each other.
But he invited me to come play with his group, and I just went with what I know best. I made a paladin. The easiest class, not really. Easiest class I thought would be easy, just to learn how to play the game. And the first time I got in, we were going to Axel Home.
Yeah.
This is before you actually joined, I think, because you joined the session after.
You guys got to Oxel
And then you
when we
joined. Right.
Yeah,
So it
you
was.
And,
However.
And how and
Halberd.
Andrew. They
you
joined at
guys,
the
you
same
and
time.
Albert and Andrew came together, but you came, the session you came was when,
Like right before we went
we
to
had,
Axel Home.
Wilhelm.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Because
when
you guys faced the Rashaka.
Wilhelm.
they did.
No, they
We
come
faced
across
the
the
main
Rashaka
Wilhelm.
3 times. And the bar was the first time. Yeah, the
Right,
tavern
right.
was the first time. And then that's when, like...
Like a
So they're
little.
talking about the Rashaka. He was
Yeah.
getting cold chills.
It's just staying there, because it's one of those, like, everybody knows it's one of those creatures that, it's a demon, it's a heavy hitter. You fight it, and you either just say, all right, we're either going to go all in and give it our all, or, where you guys were at, I think, level 4.
Dude, we were low level.
It's awful cute. You thought we had a choice.
Right.
Well, I tell you, though, it all goes back to your warning, you guys.
That had nothing to do with that.
I was like, the kids
Honestly,
are kind of roaming around town, this.
Wasn't it just Wilhelm being greedy?
And stuff.
And I said, fuck them kids.
But, of course, in Peru,
I said, fuck them
and
kids.
then, things went from there. But it's definitely it's been a lingering thing, though.
Kids are always up to no good.
Always.
They're always up to no good.
I
They
mean-
maybe trifling.
I mean, have you met Quinn?
Yes,
Always
yeah.
up
Quinn,
to
hey, Quinn turned out to be real.
Quinn was an innocent child until we brought him into the chaos, alright?
Oh, yeah, good old Quinn. So Quinn's an NPC that I created. It started out as like a 12, 13-year-old boy just in town where they were residing and actually in Phandalin. And I kind of played it off of an NPC that the Dragon of Ice Power Peak had given as an opportunity, but I just took it to a whole nother level and pretty much have made, Quinn a anime character, really. Like, he just, I messed with him. I messed with
Yes,
the
he
players
has
for a
anime
little while,
powers too.
tricking him here and there, because Quinn just kind of came off as just that wannabe hero, an innocent child that was ready to serve, called him master and things like that, and cleaned up around their somewhat small guild house at the time. And even from that,
Humblebee.
little showings of magic, little showings of tricks of them giving him like a coin or something, him tossing it over his shoulder, making it vanish, little things like that. But it grew into them discovering that Quinn actually has within him dormant a ancient platinum dragon, a dragon that was slain many years ago through lore, and it actually resides within him. And he wears a necklace now that kind of helps him contain that power, but he is next level, has aged kind of a little bit differently than other people, and so he's accepted who he is, and he just battles every day to not unleash fully what's within him, because he is still young at heart, but I think he's like 18, 19, something
Yeah.
like that now.
Yeah.
He rolls with the main campaign party, but the new group that you guys will actually see in the new campaign won't contain Quinn or any of those other characters. You'll get a hands-on look at these new characters that we've spent time in developing. It's actually kind of cool because these characters are the first characters that that group has been able to make where they know kind of what they're doing, in a sense, and that's not a knock on them, but they were all fresh and new, pretty much starting the game, and they now have that opportunity of understanding the classes, and we actually took a couple of steps, with the Blood Hunter class for Jonah's character, you know, that being, you know, not full lore, as well as him being, you know, a Lycan, and then a few of the other classes we kind of messed with. We actually even created a class. It's kind of got some little bits and pieces from other parts of, you know, D&D classes and stuff, Dragons classes, but for Justin's character, he wanted to really heavily influence on the boxing element of being, you know, this rabbit race that his family grew up in fighting, you know, for a circus, you know, within the Feywild, and this traveling base.
I just realized.
And in his turn, you know, he decided to, you know, dive deeper into that. And so you'll learn more and more about his character. You know, that kind of segues into the next thing I kind of wanted to ask you guys was, you know, we're learning now what you've learned and kind of how we played so long and stuff like that up to this point. What was the difference in when you first made your characters? I know you kind of talked about jumping in as just a paladin, but when you first was like, all right, I'm gonna play D&D. I'm gonna play Dungeons and Dragons. This is my character. To now, where you're invested, involved, you care about it, you know, and you know. And the cool thing is at the end of when we finish Strahd, I've given them this option where if their characters survive to the end, they'll be able to choose where they want to stick with the main character or the new character they created. So yeah, just like you guys touch on that, like kind of like how. Because I can tell you, they took a lot more time, and there's a lot more detail in the backstories. We individually made these characters, you know, with everybody that you'll meet and stuff. So,
well, I mean, this time there was a theme.
Yeah, of
there
course,
was a
the
theme
themes and stuff like that was nice. And you already kind of knew a little bit out of the meta that we were going to do Strahd, so I mean, I get that. But I give it to you, everybody was pretty respectful and stuff like that, and stuck to the script that I gave you, which wasn't too crazy. You know
I mean, I would say a lot of us, when we were creating these characters, was more of, you know, we knew that we were doing Strahd, and we knew that we were going to be part of the Thieves Guild. Other than that, we had full reign to do whatever we wanted to do. It was just, I think a lot of us took the time to figure out what exactly we were going to do, kind of mold it into that thief character, you know? And, I mean, Jonah here is second in command of his respective, like,
greatest thing
of
ever.
the Thieves Guild.
I outrank all of you.
And
my character's already an asshole, so it works.
Oh my god.
And you two, I would argue, have the most unique characters out of the group. The rest of us are using Player's Handbook, for the most part. Because like he said, I mean...
I mean, the only... You two, you and Cam with the monks are definitely Player's Handbook, but yeah, I mean, like...
Oh yeah, the other monk with the gambling addiction.
Yeah, playing a bird guy with a gambling
The
addiction.
Kinku is not, is it?
Hmm?
The bird people, Kinku.
Yeah.
That's in the Player's Handbook?
Is that out one of
it's not.
one of the newer books?
I think it's the same
I
one as
thought so.
yours. It just has
only the main races are in the classes are in the Player's Handbook. The original ones, like wizard, sorcerer, all those.
Elf. Oh,
Yeah, races, those type of things.
Yeah, elf, half orc.
Yeah. All right. Well, on that, we're gonna take a break real quick. Just give us a few minutes, man, and we'll be right back. We appreciate y'all. Peace. All right. Welcome back. Nice little break and stuff like that, man. So we're going to pick right back up where we had left off. We were talking about the transition of what it's like to make a character, you know, just learning about Dungeons and Dragons, being brand new to what it is as a tabletop, you know, role-playing game. And then to that transition of the guys now who have made their original characters to level 10. Now they've made these new sub-characters for this sub-campaign running through the main line. So we're going to pick kind of back up in that topic. So you guys, where we were talking about what it was like to, you know how to play now and know the rules and know how to build a class. And then you guys kind of already knew a little bit of meta, how Curse of Strahd was where we were going to go eventually at some point. I led up to that, you know, a couple of the sessions before we jump right in. And, you know, especially since, you know, like Justin, you know, with your class, you know, we pretty much together invented that class. We created that We, added a few cool, unique elements about you being able to kind of get these charges off of landed hits, so kind of just talk about diving into that because, as green as you were when you started, you know what I mean? Like, it's been a big
Green.
transition,
Green.
Green.
Not real green. Yeah, it's kind of funny because of when I first started playing, I was saying how I based my character kind of off of Aragorn because everybody loves Lord of the Rings, everybody loves The Hobbit,
Yeah, of course.
and I don't hurt me, but like Aragorn, dwarf from The Hobbit, like just as cool, right? So I kind of wanted like that kind of cool character. You pick a ranger because of like you read these little bios and it kind of fits. So now I'm almost 2 years in, whatever, with this ranger build. Level 10. I didn't change class. I didn't multi-class.
We talk about it's so funny because everybody
Did
talks about
multi-class.
multi-classing a lot. You know what I mean? Especially when you bring it up when you first hit that like level 4.
Mm-hmm.
It's always like, all right, guys. So listen. And as a DM, it's funny because you try to like strategize at how you explain it, so that everybody's just, oh wait, what? I can be 2 different things.
Right.
And then you try to explain to them, okay, hold up, it's not as great as it sounds, which is it's awesome
Because
to
you
play,
got to
right?
restart, essentially.
Essentially, yeah, because if you're playing that class and you want a multi-class, you know what I mean? I always say, look, with the options of take a feat, take extra points in a class, you know what I mean, to your skills,
Right.
or multi-class, it's way smarter to just go, you know what I mean, like, to that extent. And like,
Which is
I
what
mean,
I've actually done with Dro. He's a pure paladin. I don't multi-class.
mhm.
Now I have actually changed my oath. Well, we're still in progress with that.
I don't even know
Still
if you
in
call it
But I
OP
mean-
anymore because you've gone from,
You must have screwed up the first time you prayed.
Okay,
It's very
yeah.
true.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's very true.
Your relationship with the gods
It's
It sucks.
very terrible.
It sucks.
And a lot
They're
of
kind of a
times,
liability.
a lot of times, a detriment
Lisa
to the
League
group.
is definitely been
So, and I don't know if that's because you've made it be like that, or if
Yeah.
it's just been my shitty rolls.
Shitty
I'm
rolls.
not sure.
I mean, I always look at it like this. Like, you guys always know I've given it to you, kind of like in an open hand. It's like
Mhm.
the dice are going to determine what we do. I'm going to strategize for everything, usually plan for the worst with this group, what I mean?
But I mean,
chaos is going to happen in some ways, and like, we don't even have the time, or, I don't even think YouTube algorithm has the space to contain some of the weird stuff that we've done, and, I've allowed some of the guys in the group to kind of go through, We'll just keep those in the vaults for, hopefully the animated series that comes out years from now, you know what I mean?
But I think the dice rolls have actually helped me as much of a detriment. I'm sorry, guys. As they have been to the group, because I am switching from Oath of Vengeance to Oath Breaker,
Mm-hmm.
and it's
You
The
can't
gods-
take all the blame though on yourself though, because as we've played it, I ran that storyline with you and Halvard as that same
That
Black
was
Dragon,
such-
Baron, has like imprinted on both of y'all your whole lives, and so you were sitting here thinking, you're playing, Kratos, this
Kratos.
god of war, this god that that it's totally fitting your character 100%. And then you come to find out later on, years on, in the campaign,
I'm getting played.
that you're getting played,
I'm getting played.
Now you're getting played, but you're getting played by one of the guys that are like, oh crap, this is the main group. Like, damn.
Yeah.
But now you have that connection. You found out you have a brother. That's one of the other characters that, even though you deny it,
I
you're
totally
probably
deny
denying
it.
it to them. But
100%.
remember that freaking. Remember what Cthulhu told you. Remember like what the guys have told you that one day.
Dro doesn't believe in the gods anymore.
Yeah, I would
Like,
blame
he
it,
had-
man, because praying
With the
his bro is
destruction
just
of
really,
Waterdeep, he has given up.
Yeah, he might need to take up yoga or some type of other form of worship.
For
So
sure.
you just go to
Tired,
clerics,
For
man.
sure.
Just gonna turn into a cleric.
Totally cool the relationship approach of just wait and see. You know what I mean? Like, don't approach anybody. Just let them approach you. You know what I mean? It might lead to a lifelong,
Poke him with the stick first.
Yeah, there you go.
Like,
Stick check.
And by the way, detect good and evil is the most useless spell ever.
That's a video in itself, right?
Everything's evil.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, anytime Josh
Just
is
walk
DMing,
out.
anytime this dude is
Here-
DMing, detect good and evil.
If you have to ask.
It's a small child walk
I think
out.
that's the problem is they wait and use detect good and evil when they know they're in a situation where everything is going to be evil. So they make it pretty easy to just be like, yeah, you detect evil. I mean, dark alley, cold, wet, scary.
You
silhouette
detect a
of a
lot of
person
evil.
coming
A lot.
in that's twice your size. I mean, detect good and evil. But
Very
credit.
evil.
It has been fun DMing for a group that is, has grown from being green to what they are now because it's awesome. That's why I play Dungeons and Dragons. That's why I play games like this is because it allows me, to just like say use your creativity. But it's been really cool to see them transition and learn this game and then learn to grow out of their shell because a lot of you guys, if you've played the game for a long time or if you've even experienced it at all in a little portion, and it takes, a little bit of wanting to be here, a little bit of, enjoying the game, but also it just takes that, like, stepping out of your shell, jumping in your imagination, being as creative as possible and just with your character because it is an escape from reality. It is an opportunity to separate yourself from what you got going on and enjoy something, the camaraderie, the group of friends, people, whatever it may be, just creating a story. And that's what I love about this game and what it's made is you don't have to follow the rules, you don't have to, stick strictly to the book, and you can if you want to, but you can take it as a DM and as players and make this story whatever you want and make this world whatever you want. And so that's what's so cool and stuff like that with what they've done with their characters going into this Strahd campaign.
Josh, you didn't even mention Barto.
Oh my god.
That's because Barto awaits his own introduction, but of course,
Barto needs no introduction.
yeah. Well, I like that you enjoyed it. That was a nice little surprise. We kind of planned out that
hate that
Justin's
thing
character
so much. I hate it.
Why?
The sub campaign 100% has a an associate,
An associate?
for himself.
Board that has bad timing.
Terrible
I'm
timing.
not gonna lie. I don't care who you are. If you have the opportunity to NPC or play a bard, you take it, and you 100% take it. And it's an opportunity for me to really cut loose. What you guys will learn. I do the voices. I do attempt to get my Matt Mercer on, and I'm not gonna say that I'm anywhere near his capabilities, but it does add an element. Now, if we can get the rest of the group to kind of catch on, that's when we really know we've succeeded. But I'm glad you like Barto. A lot of the characters, the NPCs, I do try to create them to be. They'll try to deny it, and they'll try to say that I always throw hellfire and brimstone upon them, but they usually walk themselves into traps. They usually lead themselves into.
You've
the
made-
darkest
Wait a
corners.
minute. Hold on. Wait.
And it definitely is 100% accurate that I have saved them on multiple occasions with Kianji, who you will meet as my lifelong character I've played since I was young.
Oi, mate.
Yeah, that's right, mate. You don't even know, mate.
Kianji has transcended campaigns.
Oi.
Kianji one day will be written down in the record books of what it is to be
None of his
Dungeons and
siblings suck.
Dragons, mate. Let me tell you something. This fighter druid, Fire Genasi, is the baddest mother trucker you will ever meet.
It's accurate.
I give it to him, but only because he's like a level 18.
Well, I mean,
He's-
no, that's false.
He's
Level
badass.
15, you know what I mean? Level 10 druid, level 5 fighter. You know what I mean?
Look, we're gonna be
Nice.
talking about levels. I mean, we gotta go down to look. Everybody's seen the meme. Level 1, save the kitten from the tree. Level 10, fight and kill God.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
Yeah, I
anything
guess.
over level 10 is wildly overpowered.
No, it's level 1, fight and kill God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, with Josh
Basically.
DMing, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's actually level 5.
But then again, at level 1, who was it? You or CJ that tried to like pick into a door and he slit his hand?
That was
He
definitely-
banged on a door with the knife.
Yeah.
He had to use the knife.
And he had, what was
And
it?
then
That
it-
one?
His stealth roll was astonishing. You know what I mean? Of course, as always. So nobody hurt him regardless when he cut himself. But,
It was like,
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a little, like, kind of a personal thing.
Yeah, which is one of those moments, you know what I mean? It happens.
It was awesome.
You try to do something and, the dice, don't always let you do
Oh,
what you
you
wanna
mean
do.
when Dro's just walking out of a door
Slips and
slips, and he's just walking out of a door, breaks his ankle at the boss fight?
at the boss fight.
Now,
You could have had worse
if we
timing.
break the scenario down, you know what I mean? Icy mountain, top of Icefire Peak.
Oh my god.
Castle, rooftop. You've already, as a group, prolonged facing this dragon to the point where you're trying to
For
play
so
like
long.
So
Elden
many
Ring.
side
Let me
quests.
collect all the runes, find all the great weapons, and visit all the NPCs, so we know we have everything possible. I mean, to the point of where CJ's character Rimuru has a whistle that'll pretty much at any point command a group of Manticore, just through the interaction. So I mean, there's things that just carry
I
over.
still have
but
an amulet that turns you into a.
We still have that whistle.
it's very true. You still
Yeah.
have that whistle.
I have 2 amulets.
Don't
I
we have
definitely
those
sold out the
Kashi rings
local
that we still don't
combo
know what they
store.
do?
We have them, and the only ones that actually know what those rings do is Justin and CJ.
What rings?
No, I don't even think you guys, because Kianji
We've tried.
told you that remember when you guys were meeting with the mother or whatever, which the mother's like
Yeah.
Mother Nature is one of the people that they had to meet when they talk about the gods they've interacted, and I've kind of structured it to where, essentially Mother Nature and Father Time are these two entities that with Cthulhu and another individual named Shinron have created pretty much existence, created life. And I know it's a cutoff of what, the original kind of like lore is, but I mean, it's fun to stick with D&D. It's fun to follow what they've built, you know what I mean? But I believe it was built to build upon, you know what I mean? It's cool to not have to worry about all the details and all the ins and outs, unless you're totally about that, which is cool. That's awesome. You know what I mean? Do you. Definitely do your campaign however you want to do it. But for us, as a group that likes to 100% create chaos and then face it head first, this is how we like to do it. And that's totally okay. And so I want to kind of like, come up on, a little bit of the end of the session here, kind of just talking about what you guys expect to come in the future, you know what I mean, with not only just the campaign itself, but like from this, like, how has your opinion and mindset of Dungeons and Dragons changed from the first couple of sessions? Because it was like 2 or 3 sessions in, you guys had the Orc War, which was where I pretty much put them.
That was
at
and
against
remains at
300
the
Orc
top.
NPCs, and I debuffed them a little bit, you know what I mean? But and
That was
I'm
at
not gonna
least
say I didn't give them
15 sessions
guillotine,
in.
We fought that war
crossbows
for
that
so
were
long.
gigantic that just launched, incineration
ballista.
arrows and stuff
The ballista,
like that.
yeah.
But it is what it is.
And then Falcon pulls out this crossbow that's automatic. And all of us looked at him like, I want that.
To be fair, that was about 15 sessions in.
That was 100% for. I mean, you maybe. I mean,
Dude, I want to just real quick before we throw out hardest boss, the Mimic.
that's
See,
true. But that was so.
I wasn't there for
That was
Yeah,
even before you
neither
guys
one.
started.
Yeah.
Because that was
Neither one of
original.
us.
The Mimic killed the hot one. What was the?
The hot
The hot one.
Now, I've heard
And
stories
He's
of
referring
this
to
one.
Gnome Regard. He's referring to the mission of Gnome Regard
That-
within Dragon of Icefire Peak.
It went to shit immediately.
Yeah, where the party has to visit Gnome Regard.
You
this
don't
ancient
touch the
gnome.
water. It sucks you in. We had to. It was crazy. But anyways, that was the hardest boss. That
I'll
was.
admit, yeah, because I remember I had put it as where it took over that like 4-sided crossbow, that massive crossbow.
Yeah, but before that, it was just killing people, like kind of like
We
fucking
set that up
alien
kinda like a
shit.
horror, where like you guys were. I remember I'd give you like a band of these gnomes that were like, there was probably like 6
Little
or 7
fighters.
of them, I think. Yeah, and every little. The best part of that though is the bridge. You and
I've heard
I
stories of
can't
this.
remember what his name was. Talon.
Talon or something like that. Jake, yeah, he had put another friend of ours. Yeah, that was awesome. You guys are hanging from the bridge. I got
little
you
one
rolling.
shot. Yeah.
The strings saving throws and stuff like.
We made it.
Trying not to fall off.
We made it.
Yeah, you made it, but the
And
hot
then-
dome did not make it. I remember that's how you guys reacted to when I said, "Oh no, not the hot one."
Boom. Got it. Got out of there.
That's what it is.
That was funny.
Yeah,
But that was a hard one to beat, and I stand by my decision.
Yeah.
But
There's always
speaking
an
of
opposition.
how we've grown, because I can't speak for anybody else, but when I first joined, I had never played D&D in my life. Justin invited me to come play. Josh did as well, and I remember the first thing when they were giving me all this
And then we
information.
regretted it.
They were giving me all this information, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm never gonna learn all of this. It's just pages after pages after pages. I gotta remember this stat. I gotta remember that stat. And now,
It's daunting.
like 2 years later, con save +3. You know, it's
Yeah.
like I already know. I don't know. I picked up on it pretty quick, but I mean, it's just
Yeah.
easy now.
You gotta want to play,
Yeah, that's
100%.
Yeah.
definitely part of it. You gotta
enjoy
want
it, yeah.
to
and
play.
if as long as you want to, it's easy. This is fun. It's just like you want to figure it out. It's like a little puzzle at first, but then once you figure it out, you're like, fighting the troll. Boom. Roll for attack.
Yeah.
22.
Extra attack.
We get really good at math.
Hits.
That's all I have to say.
Boom, boom, boom. It's more fun when you roll more dice.
Don't let
Know
me
that.
land a smite. All right, how many D8 is that? 5.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
hold
always
on.
the time like, can I borrow dice? I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Hey, does anybody get an extra D8?
What's the circumstance?
And you'll learn that within our group that rolling a 1 is 100% natural and happens very
That-
often.
Does that?
It's
is that a 7?
it's just a funny 7.
Is
Is
that
it-
for me as a
It's a
DM?
7.
I mean, come on now, you can't beat it. And I take it so easy on them. I mean, I think a couple of them have been reincarnated at least 3 or 4 times. You know? But the moments are coming now, and that's why it's so awesome of a time for you guys to jump in with us and join this. Is because you guys are gonna get to see me now open the doors to see where their level's at. They're going from high school to college and even tiptoeing in the pros of being Dungeons and Dragons players. And that's not saying that I am 100%, the almighty. I'm not. I'm a human being. But I do give everything I can to create an awesome story, to create something that is able to not only catch the eye and the imagination, but allow you to kind of separate yourself and dive in and stuff like that. And so, real quick, you know what I mean, as we're coming to the end, we're going to take another real quick break, and then we'll come right back, and then we'll kind of finish this up. What do you guys think?
Cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
Peace.
Break.
All right. Welcome back. So as we were talking kind of before we took our break, we were talking about, just kind of the future, what it's like now to play, kind of what the guys are expecting and things like that. And as we're, going on with Strahd, and there's so much information out there about, where you can find campaigns and information about it. I have to give, my guys credit. They do a good job, but not meta or anything like that. But, what are you guys excited about, for the viewer, for anybody that's checking out our channel, anything like that, which, if you get that chance, man, hit that like and subscribe button, you know what I mean? Ring that bell so that when we start posting these videos and our live session comes out next week, all that kind of stuff, and all our content videos come out, you can be the first one to know about it, and you can tell all your friends, and then you guys at your campaign session can talk about our campaign session, and then we can be one big happy D&D family. That's the idea. But yeah, like, what are you guys, excited about going forward? Whether it be these characters or the story itself, that kind of thing. Any lasting thoughts or anything like that as we're kind of about to jump in. We've only started one session, and if anybody knows anything about Strahd or anything like that, they've just now made it to the winery, the Wizard's Winery. We started our campaign a little differently, which we'll actually talk about at the beginning more about, kind of how we transitioned. We didn't really start traditionally with the guys being level 1 going into Barovia, the eastern side. We started as them level 5, brought them in on the western side near Crack, that town, and started off the campaign like that, which is also, like I said, a twist, and you'll learn. We homebrew a lot of stuff because we don't want to step on the toes of D&D or anybody that's super tight-knit about the book, and we also kind of just want to play our own style, man. So, heck yeah, man. What do you guys think? Jonah, what's up, man? What you think, man?
I'm expecting death. A lot of death. As always. I know death is a real thing.
It has nothing to do with me whatsoever.
Well, considering your character dies in at least a couple times in every campaign we've ever played, so
I'm hoping the way I built this one will last.
Yes.
Hope
That's
and
true.
reality
I
are
hope
two
so.
separate things, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say Werewolf Blood Hunter is a very good start.
Power build.
Power build.
Power build,
I threw
100%.
everything
Yeah.
into dexterity too.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wait, hold
yeah,
on. What was
yeah.
your dump skill?
Like, charisma, intelligence,
Yeah.
one of the two.
Yeah. Well, your interaction with Barto the Bard is definitely going to
Oh my god.
mess with your charisma a little bit.
He's gonna
That'll be
buff
fun.
everybody but you.
Yeah,
You guys are gonna 100% become best friends at one point. Like, he's gonna totally write a tale and his infinite song about himself that every bard chases bull.
It's gonna be like that scene in The Witcher.
Yeah, yeah.
Still,
Toss
bad
it
timing.
to your werewolf. Oh, people be weary.
Oh, man.
I think it'll be a little bit more along the lines of like, hide your kids, hide your wife.
Yeah, that one.
Like
I'm very
that.
intimidating. This is the first time I get to play like a dick.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah,
True.
because
Finally.
That's very true because you do play
Gromon is super
Gromon.
He's like
Yeah.
the very father figure of
The
the
cl-
group.
I mean, he's
Does
a
not
cleric,
let
though. That's
people
what
do
it is,
stupid
though.
shit.
You're there to heal, which you do a good job at. You know, what I mean, you definitely done a good job with transitioning us into the half orc. You know, as you,
Yeah.
was reincarnated, but
right.
you do kind of. And then the arm, of course, is
The arm.
Missing
that's
an
of
arm.
It was 2 days after I got revived too, before I lost my arm.
And
Yeah,
you did not
which is
live with that
I
new
love.
one
You know what I mean?
very
That it
I
just
love it.
keeps-
I was so mad. I was like, great. How am I gonna? No arm. Cool.
Wasted no
But-
time.
No time.
It opened the nice door to you being, an artificer, that type of stuff, man, and just really kind of
That
just.
I always forget to use.
Yeah, which is true.
It
Yeah,
could have gotten me
that
out of a lot
transition
of-
is still happening. You know what I mean? And like messing with your arm and stuff. That's pretty cool. But with being the werewolf, I think it's gonna open up a lot of doors, and stuff like that. And we're gonna have some cool interactions with that. But I do like the element of how we have so much, like so many of the group is this animal style race. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whether it be myself and one of our guys, CJ, are playing, these white tiger tabaxis. And then, we got
8
Cam
foot tall.
playing
A Kenku.
the Kinku, and then Justin's playing the rabbit folk, and then you got a werewolf or something. So we really only have 2
I
humans,
think-
I believe, or
Well, I'm
He's an elf.
a wood elf.
yeah. So you got the wood elf. So I think
Yeah.
actually we don't have. I think Wardo, one of the NPCs, which is like one of the main guys that kind of leads the group. He's one of what I consider like the
Okay,
masters
yeah.
of the Thieves Guild.
But no,
He's a
We are
human,
not.
but.
no. We're not killing Wardo. That's Callan's master. And we already almost got to fight the Tabaxi because they were threatening him.
Yeah, last session.
Oh,
that's
me
true,
and
yeah.
Cam, we was ready. We was ready to
I
go to
love the-
blows for that one.
The
Found out
instant
some interesting information.
party
Yeah, that's very true.
division right
Yeah.
there. It was
And what
instant.
Callan said is true.
Yeah,
When I made him say, Wardo, this conversation is not over.
100%, and that's a good add-on playing your character even deeper past just the table role play. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, like that was an instinctual thing because me and CJ were talking about it. That didn't even like at our first glance we thought y'all were even jumping to support us, but then it turned to where y'all support them. Then we were like, oh, and so it created that kind of like tense moment across the table. Which,
I know you told me that you were like skeptical of throwing that in.
yeah,
But
yeah,
it
yeah.
played out really
It
well.
played
And I would
perfect,
argue
yeah.
that was
'Cause
probably one of our
it went
better
what?
scenes.
3 players on 3 players?
It
was like
was
me,
you,
CJ,
CJ,
and
Essentially,
Josh.
essentially, you kind of like stepped out of it,
I was just watching.
yeah, and then
Me
Andrew,
and Cam.
who's a
Andrew was
tiefling.
stepped off too. It was me and Cam versus.
Yeah, it was y'all two versus us, pretty much.
Yeah.
us three, yeah.
And I think that plays very well into
Mhm.
how the Thieves Guild operates. At least the sectionals
Heck
of it.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
it shows that importance too. It's like of just playing that character, you know, and really just letting it go. You know what I mean? Like diving into the imagination a little bit. Just I guess charisma, regardless of what your skill set is. You know, numerically, it's actually feeling out. I think it's cool because that's as a DM, it's hard for me like that to kind of open behind the scenes. Like it's hard for me to really know when to put certain elements in. You know, the book tells you certain things, and then you have your own stuff you want to do to kind of spice them up. But I always have kind of gone off this philosophy of, you know, I heard a while back that was, you know, play it until it stops being fun, and then work on. So like even when it comes to like the HP of a monster you're fighting, you know what I mean, or like it comes to, you know, you searching a dungeon, you know, for
how many legendary reactions they might have.
Oh my god.
I mean, they don't like the legendary
Sometimes they
reactions.
get-
you know what I mean?
no,
But I do
couple
stick by the
extra.
book. It's only characters that have them, and they only get 3. You know what
God.
I mean? But they do
Or
get the
5.
saves and reactions.
Or 5
and
or 6, either way, you get
I
it
mean,
dropped like 20
some
dice.
of 'em,
They're terrifying.
Just expect to die if he says
you know what?
he uses his legendary
And,
reaction.
and you know what? The people that actually watch us, you know, it's gonna be, they're gonna see all of us quiet, and then it's gonna be you just,
yeah,
and
I
all of
hear
us
it.
are like, what the hell was
Yeah,
that?
I hear it.
And then the immediate reaction, theorizing, who's dying?
All right, so
I wanna use-
who rolled,
It's him.
Can I
who
use a
rolled the
luck
lowest?
Do I have any DM inspiration?
I will say, being a dad, you know what I mean, in real life, I do kind of have that element of like looking out for the kids. But no, there are times where it's just like, look, you got yourself into this, so we're gonna see how you get yourself out.
I would argue CJ got us into this.
Because at the end of the day, they could have always stayed in Phandalin, took this nice guild house that they were given, you know, and Brady Bunch, you know, the crap out of it. But they, you know, decided not to do that.
That's
Yeah.
not
I love
chaotic.
it.
We
Yeah.
decided to
That's
get
what it's all
more
about.
and regretted it.
Yeah. How would you name yourself the Chaos Council if you don't, in fact, create chaos? Which you have done, you know what I mean? You saved the Sword Coast from, you know, the infamous White Dragon.
Not quite. We saved it from one dragon, and that dragon
And bro-
spawned into about
and
5.
Bro,
Yes.
yeah.
Waterdeep is now destroyed.
And we're a little bit close for the destruction of the Sword Coast.
What did we actually
bit.
say?
I would say,
we
you know,
probably
I
made
mean-
things worse.
We could have just left.
Exactly.
Very true. You could have left.
And you know what? The
Still-
Sword Coast would still just have
Still an
a
option.
Still
one
mine.
dragon problem.
Still an option.
Very true. It's very true. I like how, you know, like we can all, you know, you can all thank Matt Mercer for this. You know what I mean, with his story of, you know, all the chromatic conclave and stuff like that I've drew inspiration from. But of course, it's nice to know, you know, time has passed by, and now that you guys are in this whole Strahd plot line, the regular campaign still continues on, and the group was left off, you know, in a peculiar situation,
I hate you.
which I love. And
I hate you.
yeah,
Why? I didn't do
Stop
anything.
praying.
I just
It's a-
prayed.
Stop
I didn't know.
praying.
Look, I didn't know that praying to Cthulhu would cause Thordak to just destroy everything. All right, there was
What's your
no way of
success
knowing
rate
that.
for praying?
It's
Very
50-50.
low.
It's about
No,
50-50.
it's
the
way
nice
lower than
100%
It's about a
told the
50-50.
story. You know what I mean? And yeah.
I also didn't know that he
the
had
holy
the ability
man
of
doesn't know who he's
scrying.
holy for.
Oh mercy, man! Heck yeah, that's funny, man. Well, I mean, other than anything else, I mean, I don't know if you guys have anything else you want to say as we send off to the viewers at home, as this is our first official video drop.
First official.
Yeah, man. I think you guys are gonna want to check us out. I think
Be sure to check in.
you know what we're bringing to the table is we are new to this and kind of stuff like that, and we, you know, you can say we're late to the scene, but we figure, you know what, we have so much fun that it's brings us here, you know, every week together, and you know we want to be able to, as I said earlier, present this to you guys. You know what I mean? Open up the doors even more so to people that are interested in D&D, people that have been playing for a long time. I mean, we love to interact and learn and grow and just develop, you know, and hopefully one day kind of bring the world that we've created to the big world. You know what I mean? Wizards of the Coast and all that kind of stuff. So we really appreciate you guys, anybody that stopped by just for a few minutes, a few seconds, or have chilled and watched the whole thing, man. Thank you so much for taking the time. Remember, like, subscribe, totally activate the bell. Also, remember to look out next week as we post our first live session, our first actual group session where you'll get to meet everybody. You'll get to see us interact and actually play the game as we like to play it. And we'll also post a few small videos, try to this week of just some creator content, things like that. Also check us out on TikTok, Instagram, all those things. We're going to have it all going for you guys. So drop in, connect with us, and don't forget, man, always bring the chaos, baby. Heck yeah, man. Salute. Y'all have a great one. Y'all say bye, guys.
Peace.
Later.
My life be like